I think it's so encouraging that you want to learn about this along with me and Sensei Susan Sabo, who's way ahead of me, but is guiding me every step. So I want to find out a little bit about, is there anyone in the room who doesn't know me, who I have not had in a class yet? Can you raise your hand? Give me an idea. Oh, so far, everyone. Wow. Okay.
There are some people,
okay.
Pam, there are people on the other pages that are raising hands.
Okay, good. So my name is Pam Chambers. I've been a resident of Hawaii for 40 years, and I've been a presentation coach for 34 years. So that means that I work with people of all industry on how to be more confident and comfortable and effective speaking in front of people. Well, this is a new kind of presentation, isn't it? Thank you for nodding. So I want to introduce Susan Sabo. She is my co-host, co-pilot. She and her husband, Steve Sabo, over there, are leaders in an industry company called Young Living, which is all about safe living and essential oils and things like that. And Susan and I have been producing a series of live videos that we put on Facebook, and they're pretty popular. So we were talking, you know, isn't it great to share Zoom tips? Why don't we do it in a bigger way? So that's why we're here. And I don't know if Ryan Strada is here yet. Can we check, Susan, and see if a Ryan Strada is raising his hand?
Hey, Pam, I'm here.
Oh, yay, Ryan. Where's your face?
I don't know if we're going to see my face today, but if we need to, I'll make it happen.
Well, I would love to see your face, but I want to tell a story about you. So it's good. In the middle of March, does anyone know what happened in the middle of March?
Quarantine.
Right. So Ryan is a dear, dear friend of mine. I used to be his mentor when he was 16 years old, and now he's much older than that. And I just adore him. And we were standing outside at the Pacific Guardian Center, where his office is, and we were talking about this situation. Now, all of my workshops had been canceled. Everything I had on the calendar was gone within 24 hours, including all the money that I was supposed to get. And he said, well, we're going to be Zooming. And I said, what? I felt like I was on the Jetsons show. And he explained what this was. And he said, you're going to be Zooming within days. And he said, and I predict you will be a pro. Well, I'm not a pro yet, but I'm a damn good beginner, that's for sure. So Ryan, your prediction came true for the most part, and I want to thank you for that inspiration.
I'm stoked.
Oh, ooh, good, all right. So let's talk about the problems with Zoom. So when I'm in a room full of people, like my friend Ashley, who's a professor at UH, when we're in a room of people, we not only get to see their body language. How much of your body do you think I'm seeing right now? Like a third.
Mm-hmm.
Almost.
I'm not seeing your torso. I'm not seeing your butt. I'm not seeing your legs. I'm not seeing your feet. I'm not seeing a lot of what I usually look at when I am with people.
You mean you look at tits when you're with people?
I did not mention those. Linda, you're unmuted as usual. And so we don't see that. But the other thing that's even more pronounced that I'm now fully aware of is we don't get the benefit of the collective energy of people who are in a shared space. Do you get what I'm saying? In a shared space, there's energy, and it's palpable, and it matters, and it feeds us, or it can take away from us, but it affects us. This way, everyone's in their own little space, and it's not as easy at all to affect each other. But there is a way. And that's what we're here to talk about, the way that we can positively affect each other despite this very different way of interacting. That's why we're here. I'm gonna tell you the agenda. We're gonna hear a little bit of housekeeping from Susan. Then I'm gonna do tips for the host, and then tips for the guest, and then a call for action. And in there will be lots of fun, some demonstration, a chance for you to participate. You see your chat button down there. That's a place where you can make a comment or ask a question or participate in a way that shall be revealed down the road. But Susan, what should we know about housekeeping?
Okay, a few things. Hi, everyone. When you hit the chat button, it'll open a screen over on the right, and you can chat to everyone. So if Pam asks something, you can answer it there. If you have a question, I'll help Pam keep track of the questions. So, and you can chat privately to people, but we prefer you to chat to everyone. And then at the top right, if you're on a desktop, you can look at everyone all at once. Well, not everyone. You can look at a screen, which has about 30 people, and then there's an arrow to the right. You can flip through screens so you can see if you see familiar faces. If you're on an iPad, you have to just locate where your control panel is, because that is where you can see what you need to see. You can mute yourself on the bottom left of your control panel. Mute yourself when you're not talking. If Pam says, would you like to speak? And Linda would like to speak, then Linda, unmute yourself, and Linda will unmute herself. And then the same with your camera. You can turn it on or turn it off with the video button. And there's one other little tip about the video button. If you're a woman and you care how you look, next to the video button where it says stop video or start video, depending on where you're at, there's a little up arrow looking thing. If you click on that, this is something women love. It's a great trick. It's like an instant facelift. You click on that, you click on video settings. It opens up a box. On the left, make sure video is highlighted. Then go underneath your picture. You'll see a picture of yourself if you want to do this along with me. And then there's a little button you can click that says touch up my appearance. And it ever so slightly, I will show you, ever so slightly, that's me with it off. This is me with it on. It's not quite as bad as a Robert Redford movie where you look like you're covered in Vaseline or the lens is covered in Vaseline, but it just helps give you a little nice fresh look. So those are some housekeeping things you need to know.
Great. And now let's go to those 3 slides that I sent you earlier. Nate just joined us.
It's
All right.
Yo.
All right. Okay. So I'm gonna use my see this new meeting button. Everyone see that? Nod. Okay. If you click on that, you will see instantly what you look like and what your background looks like. And this is before you're even on a Zoom meeting. So this is a way to preview what you look like and what your background looks like. I use it every single time because see that door behind me? That leads to my bathroom. I don't want you in there. So often I say, oh my God, I forgot to close my bathroom door. So this new meeting button is really helpful for getting a sense of what others are gonna see, because often we're too blind. Okay, next slide. If you want to know tutorials, how to use Zoom, so Claire, this might answer your question. I know Elijah had some questions about sharing space and things like that. If you click there, it will lead you to the next slide, Susan. See where it says Zoom training resources? See that? That has every answer in the world for what you might want to know. All you do is find the search button and put in a question. Another place that you can get answers is Google. So if you go to Google and write on Zoom, how do I, those Google people, they know everything. So just on Zoom, how do I mute myself? Or on Zoom, how do I get a virtual background?
I do want to add one other thing, Pam, that when someone is screen sharing, you're seeing my screen right now. If I am looking for something with my mouse and I'm trying to check different things, that you can see my mouse. So this is an important thing to know. When you're sharing your screen, you may not think we can see it, but we can. So
yeah,
keep your mouse where it should be.
Right, because otherwise you look like you don't really want to be there, that you're looking for something more exciting happening in the world, which there isn't anything more exciting happening in the world right now. All right, tips for the host. So tips for the host, first of all, get a co-pilot. Now, I asked Susan today, how many people should be in a meeting? No, that's the wrong way to say it. At what number of people should you have a co-host? And I thought she was going to say, oh, 20. And she said 4. She said that even with 4 people coming, there can be all kinds of ruckus and confusion. And where am I? So she says to do that. And you can take turns supporting each other in that way. I'm never going to do this without one, that's for sure. In fact, I'm not going to do any speaking in person without a co-pilot. I had one on Maui about, I don't know, it feels like a million years ago with 120 people, and I had a co-pilot, and she put out so many problems that otherwise would have derailed me. And I'm never going to speak again without one. They're just great. Dean, you would be a great, I'm going to be calling on you, Dean.
Okay, I'm always happy to help you, Pam. Thank
I know you are. I know you are. Okay, now see how Ryan doesn't have a photo showing and Susan Cooney-Mooney doesn't either. Sometimes that's because they don't think they have a good photo. Like, look at Ronique's photo. Is that an awesome photo? Oh my goodness. So, and I have a good one too, and I know Ashley has a million good ones. You want to have a good photo for when you're not on video. Ooh, look at that, Ashley. So you need to have a good photo.
And Pam, we want to endeavor here. Nice to see you.
See, I didn't hear a word of that. It's okay. Get a good photo. And it should be a headshot. And then that's going to be what people see before you start your video. Anything more about that, Susan?
No, I think that's a really good point. The other point is, what is your photo used for? If you're in a business meeting and you're doing work Zooms, you want a professional picture. I'll show you my picture. It looks like this, because my goal is, you know how in Pam's classes, she asks, how do you want to come across? I want to look friendly and approachable. And so I'm holding my little puppy and I'm looking friendly and approachable. If I worked at a bank or I was a financial planner, I might want a different photo. So think about what you want to represent when you're showing your photo.
Right. Okay, outfit, clothing. It doesn't really matter what you wear on the bottom, I thought, until the time that I had to stand up and go get something. And, and I said to the other person, close your eyes for a minute, because I was wearing shorts. And you know what? That's just not my best look, truly. Unfortunately. So now I know it does matter what we're wearing fully. Plus, I want to feel professional. I don't want to feel like a slob on the lower half. It makes a difference. So what you wear depends on your purpose. Is this a job interview? Are you teaching a class? Are you hanging out with your friends? So think about your purpose and what here and even below is going to add to. I want to show you what not to wear. See this print? Everyone, it's a little jacket. This print is almost too small. And what that means is if I'm wearing a very small print, the camera is going to get all wavy. Linda, you know from your TV experience. Yeah, it gets all moire print or whatever that word is, and it gets real wavy and your outline gets fuzzy. So no tiny little prints. Go with solid. It's just a lot safer and better for you. Is everyone understanding and agreeing and getting it? Okay, good. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, I want to share with you this. Now, I'm going to do what they do when they're showing PowerPoint. I know you can't read this, but can you read this? Okay. I didn't think so. What this is this is my checklist for just before I go on Zoom. Open the window, close the bathroom door, move the desk lamp, push in my desk chair, remove pictures. Behind me, there are normally pictures hanging there. And usually, if they're still there, they're shiny and they're reflective. And I know that it would bother Della Reese because Della Reese has attention to detail. And she would say, but Pam, I saw all those reflections. And so I took them all down. I took down 3 photos today. Close your mail or anything else that might make noisy notifications. I had it happen to me today. I thought, darn, I forgot to close my mail. Tilt your monitor. So tilt it. My monitor is tilted so that you don't see my bed. I don't want you seeing my bed. Even though it's perfectly made, I don't want you being that intimate with me yet. So we're not letting you see that. Earbuds. I hear much better you when I have these. And then the last thing is cover my mirror. There's a mirror back there that also would cause a lot of dismay. So have this. I keep it right here. I look at it every single time, and sometimes I'm chagrined that, whoa, this still is not in my DNA yet. So that's a checklist. I want to show you a microphone sample. This is called Tonor, T-O-N-O-R, and it's on a tripod. Steve Sabo recommended it, and Susan and I both got it, and it makes a big difference. It has a screen even that prevents you from, you know, those plosive sounds, the P's and the D's and those, it prevents that because it has a little screen, and you can position it just about anywhere. I recommend that you get one of those. Okay, waiting room. Susan, talk about that.
Okay, the waiting room is a great thing to have because right now, until Zoom upgrades and we never are worried about bad people getting in, I have been in a meeting where like crazy porn people came in, or like someone up to mischief gets in there. So a waiting room is good, a password is good. So we did both on this, and usually one or the other is fine, but it's good to have a waiting room. And then you can send a message to the people in the waiting room, letting them know when they're going to get in.
Excellent. And it's so much fun when it says admit. There's a little rectangle that says admit, which means you get to let them in. It's kind of like opening the door to your home or to your office. It's really fun. Okay, other practices, get to your meeting. This is for the host. Get there early so you can close that bathroom door or fix the thing that isn't quite working with your outfit. Don't breeze in at the last minute. And that fits my advice for public speaking in person as well. Use a mic, we talked about that. Welcome people as they arrive. Now, it happened pretty fast that people arrived, and there are several pages of people that I didn't get to personally greet, and I apologize for that. Oh my goodness. I wish I could say hi to every single person, but that would take up our whole hour. But look, Mitch came. Yay. And then I'm afraid of singling people out, like I just did. Avoid huge hand gestures. Now, I'm a big body language person, but if I do this, what do you have to say? Isn't that in your face? Isn't that annoying? Don't you feel like swatting me away? So we need to train ourselves to keep our movements on kind of, what's the word I want? Close to us or level with us, but not out in this way. Whoops. I noticed earlier I pointed like that, and I didn't want to do that. I take it back. I should have done this instead.
Can I ask you a question, Pam?
Yes.
If that's your MO, if that's the way you communicate with people, is that a bad thing?
Well, only that it's distracting and in your face. So I'm not going to ever change the energy level that I put out. I'm never going to do that. But I am going to go into my pantry and take something called a bit of restraint. It's called it's a spice that I hardly ever use. But on Zoom, I don't like it when people do that in my face, so I don't want to be doing it in theirs. It's just a subtlety that I would like to perfect. It's a good question. Look at the camera. Now, I want to talk about this a lot. Where do you, when you're looking at this right now, where does your eye want to automatically go? To you, right? When we see a photo that we're in that photo, what's the first thing you look for? Yourself. It's automatic. I mean, unless you have a loved one that you'd rather look at. But often the first thing we look at is ourselves. When I'm on Zoom, I find myself looking at myself way too much. I mean, why am I, would I give a talk in person holding a mirror? I don't think so. So we want to train ourselves against looking at ourselves. But the next thing I want to do is I want to look at you. Now, here's the problem. When I look at Yvonne, when I look straight at Yvonne, it doesn't look like I'm looking at her, to her. It looks like I'm looking askance, down, somewhere else. And I'm thinking, doesn't she realize I'm connecting? Well, she probably would believe I'm doing that, but it doesn't feel that way to her. So guess where I have to look? At the camera. And it's right up there. It's a tiny little green dot. I'm training myself to look at that. Uh-oh, I'm pointing with my fingers. See? See how much we don't like that, Linda? So I want to train myself to look there and then to use my peripheral vision to look at you. So I'm looking at the camera right now, but I can see if you nod your head. Nod your head, someone. See, I can see that. So that gives me a lot of information that you're with me, we're connecting, there might be some agreement. Now, am I allowed to look away from the camera once in a while? Of course. It would be ridiculous not to. But so now I'm going to look at Ashley. She knows I'm looking at her because I just said so, but it might look to her like I'm looking a little bit down. So I want us to share our gaze with the entire computer screen, not just where you feel like looking. Does that make sense to people? It's very different from being in real life, I would never find a camera to look at. I would look at you, but this is not quite real life. Okay, glasses. If you wear glasses, Susan was talking with me about this today. Susan, did you shut off that ring light that you were going to show people?
Yes.
Okay.
So this is a ring light. I use one like this, but you can also use, I have big ones that clip onto the back of my computer or onto the desk. These are cute because you can actually put them on your cell phone for light. But what's great about these is they light you up. Here's the problem if you wear glasses. So if you're wearing glasses and you have lights, you look a little like an alien. So keep in mind you want to keep your head level while looking up, because otherwise it's very distracting to the people you're talking to, right? Everyone with glasses, try it. It's bizarre.
Yep. Now, another way to be a good host if you have a large group or you're teaching a class would be to get people into breakout groups. So these are smaller groups of people that you can randomly have get into groups, or you can assign them to a group and have them work on a certain task and then report back. You use those, or you've been in those, Susan, correct?
Yeah, we use those a lot. If you're doing a training of any kind, or in your classes, Pam, you know how we get into breakout groups, we just get together and talk. You can divide people up, they can meet, you can bring them back when you're ready for them. And it's a way to create intimacy in a big group, because then you have people who have their little clusters and then you come back to the big group and share.
And who knows, they might become lifelong friends after that intimacy. It happens a lot. Okay, ready for the participants tips. So if you're a participant, or do we call it a guest? Is that right? No. What's the word?
I guess it depends. I
Okay.
guess a guest, or yeah, I guess it depends on the kind of meeting.
All right, well, you are all my guests as far as I'm concerned, and I really appreciated that you RSVP'd. Some people even let me know that they could not make it, but it's so respectful and helpful for me to know that you were planning to come. It really, really makes a big difference. One person contacted me today and she said that she'd been feeling ill all day and she didn't want her sick face here. I said, well, you could put up a photo, and I didn't hear back. So there are occasionally reasons why you might not want to show your face, but do let us know if you're going to be there. I like to know if you're going to be leaving early, because otherwise, see that leave meeting down there at the bottom? We don't love those two words, leaving meeting. oh, she hated it so much she had to leave. Well, there might be it might not be about me at all. But if I know that you need to leave, I'm totally tolerant to that. But it's when people start leaving in droves that it gets a little scary. The one situation where that can happen, and you shouldn't take it personally, is at a convention where there are concurrent workshops happening at the same time. A lot of people go check it out, decide this isn't for me, and they leave. And as a speaker, you have to let that happen. You can't try to make them stay. So let us know. Why don't we do this? Why don't we take a moment right now to have you use those arrows on the side and scroll throughout our workshop and see who's here. I'd like to do that myself as well. Does everyone know how to do that? Go ahead and scroll and see who else is here. Ooh, Chamber of Commerce.
I'm looking at the list. I'm in list view.
Oh, wow. Nate is a fabulous DJ. DJ Nate. Hi, Terry. See, I'm doing what I didn't want to do. Oh no, because now I want to name everybody. Paula. Okay, let's see. Next page. Oh, wow. Flowers.
So
Rising
Pam, while
up.
you're sharing that, can I share why I think it's important to greet people? It is a little hard when there's 76 people all joining you. It is hard to greet everyone. But I was on a training in the weekend. I think there were probably 30 people. And I popped on, there were 4 or 5 people. They were talking amongst themselves. I popped on and went like, hi. Nobody said hi. And they kept talking. I thought, okay, my camera's on, I'm not muted. That's weird. And I felt really awkward. And then all these people who came on after me, they were going, oh, hi, John. Hi, Linda. Hi. I was like, okay, I must have my cloak of invisibility on today. So it makes a person feel bad. So it's really good as people coming on, if you can greet them, it's really important.
I wish I could, as I said, greet every 76 of you. So special. Oh my goodness. All right, other things for the guests. Oh, so we're gonna do a game with Susan. So this is called No-Nos with Susan. No-Nos with Susan. And I want you to get your chat fingers ready, because when Susan does a no-no, I want you, if you're willing, to chat what you think she's doing wrong.
Okay,
so
first
and we have about 9 of these. So these are things that we have witnessed or done ourselves as guests in a Zoom, and we'd like to encourage behavior other than this. So what's happening now? Where's Susan? Hello?
Hey, Pam.
Yeah.
This is Linda. While she's gone, I am just so encouraged by the number of people who are tuning into you today. To be able to click and see all those wonderful faces of friends of mine and yours and strangers, and they're learning. And thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. When I looked at the list, I realized half the people that were coming, I had not met. That's incredible. So that means that the people I do know shared this information with others. And of course, it was on Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn and everything else I could think of. But I am delighted to see people that I don't know yet that perhaps I'll meet someday in person. So does anyone know what Susan did wrong? What was the no-no?
Well, some people called it was a little confusing because the point was I was arriving late, but because I had to leave to come back, it looked like I was leaving and I was distracted. So we were hoping for, what we were going for was arriving to a meeting late.
Okay, the next no-no with Susan is anyone know what that one's called? Distracted, texting, looking distracted, on the phone and not paying attention, inattentive, yes. So now let's do an experiment. Let's have all of you right now go into looking inattentive, right now. 1, 2, 3, inattentive. Oh, it's painful.
Imagine
Okay.
being the speaker and you look out and you see all of those not looking at you people. It's horrible.
Well, I've seen it on Zoom meetings. Okay, okay. When I count to 3, you will come out of your hypnotic state and you will be back attentive. 1, 2, 3. Oh yes, so much better. Now that's a battery alternator relationship, which I didn't describe, but I will now. A battery in a car can only work if it has an alternator. The alternator charges the battery. You, the speaker, are the battery. Without an alternator, you will what? Drain. You'll drain. Have you ever had a dead battery? Oh, it goes like this. That's all it does. So as a speaker, even as a Zoom speaker, as a host, you want to get it so your audience members are participating with you so that you're not drained and exhausted. It's called Zoom fatigue. And if you can get an audience to be as responsive and fun as you are, you'll want to Zoom all day long. Okay, number 3. This is a no-no from Susan. Oh, uh-oh. What's wrong? Get
What?
your chatting fingers going. Picking her nose.
Hey!
Okay, so yes, it was leaning in too close. Now, I'm sorry to have to mention this, but have you ever seen the inside of their nostrils? That's because they're too close and the screen is tilted. So that's another reason, that's something else you want to maybe have on your checklist so that you're not having us look up your nose. Ready? Yeah,
The
that's it.
next one?
Okay, next one, ready? Yep.
What? Oh, okay.
Oh no, oh, and this is the business meeting. Love the towel. Love the towel. How far should you be? Being too stylish. Get dressed, lady. Well, that was effective. Very good.
Okay, I have to share a story. I was doing a training for about, I guess it was about 40 people. And so it was several screens. And I'm getting text, which I ignore because I'm in a training. So finally it was going so many times. I look and somebody says, there's a naked lady. And I was like, what do you mean there's a naked lady? So I scroll to the different screen and there is literally a topless lady. She had no idea. She had no idea. She did, like, it wasn't like she was trying to be. Here's the key, you guys. If you're on your phone and you see us, you think nobody can see me because I'm only looking at Pam. And we can see you if your camera's not off. So she had, like, again, she wasn't being she wasn't being an exhibitionist. She just was going about her business out of the shower. So be aware that your camera can be on and you don't know it.
Okay, I think we've covered the next one, Susan. Let's go with the
Yes, okay.
yes, thank you.
Yeah, you can just like,
Carry on, I'm listening.
What do you have to say? Noisy, not muted, mic on and making noise. Even during the meeting, noise. So in my class, as those of you who have taken my class know, I finally developed a rule that I thought was very useful, and that is beverages are okay during class. Let's keep the snacking and the chips and the pork rinds for the break because they're very noisy and distracting. And every once in a while, I would notice someone eating and I'd say, oh, my fault, everyone. I forgot to mention that we're going to save eating for the break. Problem solved. It was my fault. I had left out that detail and people thought they had permission because that's a common thing. So you want to set up your guidelines even on Zoom. You want people, so say it's a brown bag lunch and learn, well then you're going to expect some eating. I wouldn't start my lesson until that food is gone and the table is cleared, but say what you want, say what your goals are and expect people to be participatory with that. Okay, next one, Susan.
all right, you're ready. And I'm
being muted. Muted,
was
but
muted.
talking.
Oopsies.
Yeah, that I think that's so funny. We're gonna do a separate super short show on that one. All right, next one.
Oh yeah, check the chat. What might
Mumble.
I?
Oh, they think you're doing it now. They think you're mumbling to yourself.
No, I'm telling you, I'm telling you to check the chat. So you can chat
Gossip.
privately to people.
Gossip.
So I was thinking I might have been saying to my husband, do you think Pam got that outfit from Goodwill? But I sent it to everyone. So I have been on chats. It's like sending a text to the wrong person or an email to the wrong person. I've gotten things from people. It's like, was that meant for me? And we've all had that oopsie. So make sure if you're private chatting someone to say, where on earth did Pam get that shirt? That you're not saying it to everybody.
Right, and that mistake is the same as sending an email to everybody. Raise your hand if you've ever done that. You've sent an email to everybody and it should have gone to only one person. It makes you want to pack your bags and leave town. Oh,
This is Linda. I don't like the idea of chat having anything to do with Zoom.
All right, well then we won't expect to see a chat from you, but thank you.
Well, and here's another tip, Linda, that it's good to know, and all of you, that if you send a private chat, if I send Tracy or Steve a private chat about Pam's outfit, later when she looks at the recording, guess what? She can see all of the chat.
Yeah, see, that's why it's so, yeah, I would.
And really, you shouldn't be gossiping anyway. So it is a good
Caution.
practice not to do that.
All right, the last one on the list, last no-no from Susan is, nice armpit.
Thank you.
Dusting the computer. Oh, these are great. Okay, so now we're going to talk about Susan. You're such a great actress. So we talked about pointing at the camera. There's another thing about when you're using Zoom on your phone. Have you ever seen someone go to manipulate their control panel and their finger is right in your face? Have you ever seen that? Their whole hand is in your face on their phone. Well, the way to prevent that is to hold your phone so that the camera is on the left. Hold your phone so that the camera is on the left, and then you won't have your whole hand in the way. Good. All right. Does anyone have any questions at this point? We're doing excellently with our time schedule. Anyone want to raise a hand, ask a question? Let's look at the other pages. See anyone, Susan?
I'm just checking the chat.
Ronique raised her hand.
Oh, thank you, Ronique. Can you unmute yourself, Ronique? Yeah.
Yes, I am unmuted. How do you get your audio not to crackle when you've got so many people on the same Zoom meeting? I am like breaking up like nobody's business, and I don't know why it won't not do that.
Steve, you might know the answer.
Do you mean the sound you're hearing from Pam is breaking up, or you think that when you're speaking it's breaking up? Which do you mean?
Sound that when I'm on unmuted and on video, the sound that I get from you all is all breaking up.
Have you noticed if your cell phone is close to your computer while you're doing that, or if there's another electronic device nearby?
There is, as a matter of fact.
So, so for some reason, I think that causes that kind of static noise. So just take that other device away.
Okay, I see a question from Claire. How do you put your picture in a...
In place of the live video.
Oh, well, when you signed up for your Zoom account, they asked you for a photo. And if you submitted a photo that you feel good about, that's the one that they're going to be using.
And then after the fact, you can always go in, and in the Zoom interface, there's a little button to go to your profile, or you can log into a web browser, go to zoom.us, and it'll take you to your profile. You might have to log in. At any time, you can look at your entire profile. You can change the email that's being used. You can change your photo or upload the first photo that if you didn't do it before.
And also, I have seen in Zoom conversations people who are sitting there with the ocean behind them and mountains. And how do they get that?
That is called a virtual background. And there's a way to get that by going to your settings. There's a number of photos you can choose from. Ashley has a different photo every single time she teaches. She is all over the world. She's kind of stuck in Paris right now, but yep, see, there she is. But you can also use a photo that you took yourself. The challenge is, and some people don't like to hear this, but it's true. So the challenge is that sometimes there can be a wavy outline between you and the background, as the computer has a little bit of trouble distinguishing what's what. So if you're very much a mover, it's going to create a lot of waviness. But if you're fairly stable, it's not going to be a problem.
Oh, sorry, Pam.
So that's why. Go.
I was going to say the other challenge with that is if you lean back, you will suddenly disappear into your background. Like your background will eat you. Dean, I can see you on the screen. So can you demonstrate? Can you? Oh, I think Dean's talking to someone. Never mind. Dean's acting out one of the distractions. So if you have green screen and you lean back, you will get sucked into the background and you won't see yourself. So that is another problem. And sometimes people get really stylish and put videos behind them. And then you're watching and there's like cars going by and race cars. And I've seen all kinds of really very distracting backgrounds.
Yeah. Okay, now we're going to play another game. This is a game that Steve Sabo created for us. It is, I think, so funny. And we might unmute you all just to see what's going to happen here. But we're going to show you a series of images of cats.
Oops, sorry, hold on.
And each picture has a number. So Steve and Pam are in the way, Susan.
Not, oh, okay, hold on a sec. Whoa, sorry. Let me just, is that better?
No, I'm still seeing myself and Steve, and we're covering up some of the pictures.
Okay, I'm seeing all of them.
You can move that.
All right, well, whatever. So what we want you to do is, again, go to chat if you're willing, and give the number of the picture that you can relate to. Like, have you ever seen some that look at you like this number 5 cat?
Yes.
Oh my goodness, that's
Yes,
terrifying. Imagine having a whole audience looking like that. And how about number 7, personal grooming while you're on Zoom? How about number 11, where the iPad is tilted in such a way that we're looking straight up at you instead of you stabilizing the iPad with a stack of books or something like that so it's not stable. So I see number 13, Winnie. Oh, how cute that is. Look at number 14. Do you ever feel that way? Now, I don't know what's wrong with number 10. What's wrong? They're too what?
I have been on Zooms where someone has been breastfeeding, which is amazing if you're Zooming a friend. But if you're in a business meeting and someone is either holding their baby or breastfeeding on camera, it's awkward.
Okay then, and number 1, the problem there is incorrect lighting. So with your lighting, you want to make sure that your light is coming to you frontally, not behind you or from the side. If you have your lighting from the side, it makes you look old and tired and discouraged. But if you have light facing you, you look bright and happy and energetic. So do all that you can, including window availability and that ring light that Susan showed us earlier. So that concludes what I had in mind for you here. I want to show you a few things as a just a bit of a commercial announcement, if you will indulge me. I think we have the idea that we don't make that much of a difference when we're in a room, that we just don't matter that much. And I want to tell you that you do. Anyone who's ever had a heckler knows what a difference that one person can make. Anyone who's ever had someone cheering them on the way Della Reese does knows how much of a difference that makes. So I think with this mode, we need to be even more cognizant than ever that we affect the entire thing that's happening here, and we make it enjoyable and valuable and something we want to repeat, or we make it like, oh, no more Zoom. So let's just realize we make a huge difference, every single one of us here. I offer one-on-one training. I just worked yesterday with someone who did a Zoom and then showed it to me. He said, how could I have made this better? And we had a nice chat about that. Sometimes people want to see me before they go on the Zoom. So the one-on-one is still something I do in this different format. And then I eventually want to have classes again. And I guess for a while they're going to need to be in this format, but I'm okay with that. I will add your names to my email address book. If you ever want out, just unsubscribe, but I want you to know what's going on with other things I might have to offer. And yes, we're recording, and yes, we will have a link for that on my website as soon as we can physically do that. And then the last thing is I have 3 books that some of you know about. This one is called Now You Tell Me, and it's about feedback that people should have gotten but didn't until the nick of time. So that's that, Amazon.com or through me. Then Not This Again. This is a book for managers and leaders who face Hawaii problems that are culturally prevalent here as opposed to other places in the world. And because I've been here 40 years, I know something about that. And then this is called Life as a Presentation. This you can actually get for free at pamchambers.com. So those are my offerings, either amazon.com or pamchambers.com. And Susan and I and Steve are going to stick around for as long as anyone wants to talk to us. I truly treasure the time that you spent. It's so meaningful to me. And I thank you so much for coming and being with us today. And Susan, what a great co-pilot. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you. Ooh, thank you. Thank you, Karen. So
Thanks,
you see
Pam,
the,
Susan,
Thank you.
and
Yeah.
Steve.
and you see
You
the
too.
lead meeting. No need to